So we'll continue reading from Advaita Prakasha, Chaitanya Leela, as presented by disciple of Lord Advaita. And this is chapter 19. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All glories to Sri Chaitanya, all glories to Sitanath, all glories to Nityananda, along with all the devotees. One day, Lord Chaitanya came to Rupa Goswami in a dream and gently said, "O Rupa, you have written a wonderful drama in which you have revealed the transcendental pastimes of Radha Shyam. I strongly desire to hear that sweet, beautiful drama." Saying this, Sri Chaitanya disappeared and Rupa woke up, but then he fell unconscious in ecstasy. After some time, Rupa Goswami, the topmost devotee, came to his senses, started weeping and calling out, "Where is Gauranga?" The next moment he lamented, "It is difficult to comprehend your transcendental pastimes. You've descended in order to glorify your devotees. You've kindly appeared before your devotee in a dream to give instruction." Rupa Goswami then danced and jumped high. At that time, Sanatan arrived there and inquired, "What is the news? I assume that Gaura has showed his mercy on you today." Rupa replied, "O Prabhu, you're well versed in all the scriptures. Gaura has appeared in a dream to instruct me." Sanatan said, "You are most fortunate, because you have seen Gauranga in a dream. You will certainly see him face to face." Rupa then said, "Your words are as good as the Vedas. I will go to Purushottama Kshetra to see Gauranga." Rupa offered obeisances to Sanatan and then started his auspicious journey while remembering Gaurahari. Absorbed in love for Gauranga, he eventually arrived in Sri Kshetra. When Rupa saw Lord Gauranga, tears of love flowed from his eyes. He offered hundreds of obeisances to the Lord, who reciprocated by warmly embracing Rupa. Rupa Goswami said, "I'm an untouchable wretch. Why do you make me an offender by touching me?" Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "You are the topmost devotee. Your body is as pure as the Mandakini Ganges." Sri Rupa Goswami said, "You are an ocean of mercy. A particle of your mercy is the source of all auspiciousness. If by great fortune someone touches your feet, he gets the most pure body of a Vaishnava. Just as by the touch of a Shalagram Shila, the water in an ordinary well becomes so pure that it can destroy all sins, and it is rarely attained even by the demigods." Mahaprabhu said, "This is exaggerated glorification." Rupa then said, "I've hardly spoken a drop of your glories." Then Gauranga personally glorified Rupa Goswami's spotless detachment to Ramananda Roy and others. The happiness of Gauranga's followers expanded in the association of Srila Rupa Goswami. They surrounded Gauranga and began chanting the holy names. In great ecstasy, someone sang and someone danced. Someone else called out the name of Gauranga and cried in ecstatic love. In this way, the waves of Gaura's love swelled as the devotees chanted Hare Krishna and danced. One moment they laughed, another moment they were stunned, and the next moment they began to perspire. Then they cried out, "O Lord of our lives!" Shri Krishna Chaitanya and his devotees thus blessed the whole world with a cloud of nectarine love. After some time, when the Sankirtan came to an end, everyone took Gaura's permission and returned to their respective duties. One day, as Gauranga was joyfully discussing spiritual topics with his devotees, Rupa Goswami arrived there. He offered obeisances to Gaurachandra who embraced Rupa and asked him to sit there. Rupa offered his respects to the devotees, sat at a distance. Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Controller who resides in everyone's heart as the Supersoul, said to Rupa, I have heard from a devotee that you've written a drama about Krishna's pastimes. Please recite that drama in this assembly of Vaishnavas. I'm eager to hear it. Shri Rupa said, I'm a wretch, the lowest of men, while Krishna's pastimes are the topmost of all subjects. This fool's ability to explain the scriptures is like a wingless bird's ability to fly. Whatever I have written is like a child's play. I feel ashamed and afraid to read it. Still, I cannot disobey your order. Everyone kindly forgive my offense. Rupa Goswami then read his drama, and the devotees all became overwhelmed in ecstasy. Absorbed in love, Ramananda Roy and others remarked, We've become purified by hearing this drama. The glories of Krishna's names are certainly sweet. We have never heard such a glorious composition of verses. In ecstatic love, Mahaprabhu said to Shri Rupa, It would be good if you divide this drama into two parts. The two names, Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava, will give pleasure to the heart. The Vaishnavas all responded by chanting the name of Hari. These two books became well known throughout the world. Sri Gauranga's associates have inconceivable qualities. Srila Rupa Goswami's glories are vibrated everywhere. On seeing his great humility, Gauranga and his followers were overwhelmed with love. Rupa Goswami stayed there for some days, taking darshan of Lord Jagannath in ecstatic love. Then, following the instruction of Mahaprabhu, he returned to Vrindavan. The glories of Gauranga and his devotees cannot be fully described by even Lord Brahma. By hearing these glories from saintly persons, my mind was not pacified, so I've written those topics in brief for the benefit of others. One day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining the devotional purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to Achyuta, who remarked, This is the best explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam I've ever heard. There is no need for the commentary of others like Sridhar Swami. This commentary is the essence of all others, and it includes points not mentioned elsewhere. Sri Krishna Chaitanya replied, If the glories of saintly persons are diminished by this commentary, then it must be discarded. Hearing this, Sri Achyuta was surprised and sad. On hearing this order, my heart breaks. Your commentary is like the monarch of the kingdom of devotional service. Every line is a storehouse of transcendental mellows. By stopping the propagation of such wonderful devotional purports, you've actually verified yourself as an ocean of mercy. Achyuta began to cry in ecstatic love, and Gaur bathed him with his tears. There's no limit to Sri Chaitanya's ocean of mercy. Even Lord Ananta cannot reach its end. Gauranga sacrificed his own prestige to make the living entities happy. Such humility was never shown even by Lord Krishna. Previously, when Gaur was studying the scriptures, he had written a commentary on the principles of logic. When he went to the bank of the Ganges with that commentary, a Brahmin inquired, "Oh, Mahashaya, what is that book you have?" Gaur replied, "This is a commentary on the principles of logic." The Brahmin looked through that commentary and began to lament, "Alas, all my work is ruined. On seeing this commentary, my work will be shunned." Sri Gauranga said, "O Brahmin, don't be discouraged." Gaura, the ocean of mercy, immediately displayed his compassion by throwing his commentary into the Ganges. Seeing this, that Brahmin blissfully said, "No living entity can display such renunciation. You must be an incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself. I offer millions of obeisances at your feet." Saying this, the Brahmin joyfully departed, while Gaurachandra's shining fame filled the universe. Accepting the glories of Sri Chaitanya is inconceivable. I, an insignificant insect, consider the brief pastimes written here as atomic in size. Sri Satchidananda then said to Achyuta, Why are my faultless eyes quivering? Achyuta said, You are the embodiment of auspiciousness. Good fortune always resides within you. I can understand that one of your dear devotees will become very fortunate. That is why the eyes of he who is controlled by his devotees are quivering. At that time, Sanatana Goswami, the topmost devotee, arrived from Vraj and came there before Gaur. Gauranga jubilantly said, The words of Krishna and his eternal associates are always infallible. Shri Achyuta said, You are the controller of the mind. In the form of sound, you cause the living entities to act. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he immediately remembered Lord Vishnu. Meanwhile, Sanatan was absorbed in loving sentiments by seeing Gaur. His hair stood on end, he lamented, and then he became stunned. Then, crying in love, he washed Gauranga's feet. Gauranga embraced Sanatan, who lamented, You have made me a great offender. I am untouchable and fallen. Moreover, I am an object of hatred, for I have a disease that has produced wet sores on my body. Mahaprabhu said, Where are your wet sores? I see a pure body that resembles the sunlight. Sanatan looked and was surprised to see that his body had now become healthy. Accepting the mercy of Sri Krishna Chaitanya as inconceivable, Sanatan began dancing in ecstasy with raised hands. All the devotees joyfully cried out, and then Mahaprabhu began Sankirtan. Someone played mridanga, and others played kartals. Some devotees laughed, and others cried in ecstasy, as though they were intoxicated. Gradually, the waves of the ocean of Sankirtan expanded, and Gauranga was immersed in loving ecstasy. Gaur then manifested various ecstatic symptoms like crying, shivering, and falling unconscious. Sometimes he cried out the name of Hari, and then he would offer humble prayers. After a long time, they stopped Sankirtan, and Lord Gauranga sat down with the devotees. Then Sanatan gently inquired from Mahaprabhu, Among all religious principles, which are the eternal religious principles? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, You are the topmost devotee, and you know all the scriptures. Among intelligent persons, you are the most experienced. Still, following the behavior of saintly persons, you inquire, because saintly persons never tire of discussing spiritual matters with devotees. We call Vaishnava principles eternal religious principles, and other principles are all secondary. According to the Vedas, Vaishnava principles are eternally perfect. Secondary religious principles were preached by Lord Shiva under the order of Lord Krishna. The instructions of Lord Shiva can never be fruitless, but they bring success indirectly, just as when a person takes a crooked path, his journey simply increases. After worshipping the demigods for many lifetimes, one's heart is purified when he obtains the worship of Lord Vishnu, who is like a desire tree. Then, by the desire of the devotee, Vishnu offers one a gift more rare than liberation. Sanatana Goswami said, I understand the basic meaning. Vaishnava religious principles are perfect from time immemorial. Mahaprabhu said, Vaishnava principles are supreme. According to saintly persons, the most important aspect of Vaishnava principles is to develop a taste for chanting the holy name. I'll have to read that again. Mahaprabhu said Vaishnava principles are supreme. According to saintly persons, the most important aspect of Vaishnava principles is to develop a taste for chanting the holy name. In this way, Mahaprabhu revealed many devotional principles, and the devotees headed by Sanatan felt jubilant. Then, on the occasion of Lord Jagannath's Ratha Yatra, many devotees came from various provinces. The followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming from Bengal were headed by Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu. Gauranga became joyful to regain the association of his followers. He gradually inquired about each devotee's welfare. Devotees offered their obeisances to Gauranga and told him all the auspicious news, and Gauranga embraced each one of them. Then Mahaprabhu joyfully took bath with his devotees in the king of all holy places, the ocean. They all went to see Lord Jagannath, and then they took prasad together. The joy they experienced cannot be described. Only the most fortunate people could see those pastimes. Mahaprabhu then narrated to his devotees descriptions about the topmost mood of the Vrajagopis. When the devotees became intoxicated in pure love by hearing those topics, they began Sankirtan in Gauranga's association. Devotees from many various backgrounds played mridangas and kartals. Some of them sweetly danced with their arms raised. Advaita danced nicely, so he was placed in front. Gaura and Nityananda danced in the middle. The devotees danced behind with their hair standing on end. Intoxicated with ecstasy, they made various poses. Their wonderful dancing amazed the people, and their singing the glories of Lord Hari resembled the Gandharvas. As the Chakora-like devotees drank the nectar of Sankirtan, some cried in ecstatic love, some embraced others, and some, intoxicated in ecstasy, laughed loudly. Some others fell unconscious, being overwhelmed with love. The wonderful joy of their Sankirtan attracted even the demigods. Many sinful people were delivered by the boat of the holy names. On the day of Rath Yatra, there was a large joyful festival, which I am unable to describe. The chariot of Subhadra went first. Behind her chariot came the chariot of Balaram. Millions of people pulled the chariot of Lord Jagannath, but they were unable to move it even an inch. All the pilgrims were struck with wonder. Then Mahaprabhu smiled and pulled the rope. Simply by his touch, the chariot moved quickly, and everyone jubilantly chanted the name of Hari. Lord Jagannath and Lord Gauranga both performed wonderful pastimes. Whoever witnessed those pastimes was delivered from the ocean of material existence. Lord Jagannath mercifully appears in a form corresponding to one's meditation on him. Some see the form of Krishna, and some see Vamana, but according to the Vedas, neither will take another birth. And if someone in illusion thinks of the objects of the senses, he sees those objects, not Krishna. The transcendental pastimes of Lord Jagannath are unlimited, and the potency of his Mahaprasad is beyond the conception of the demigods. In Jagannath Puri, a Brahmin eats the prasad brought by a Chandala, and if he hesitates, he is soon attacked by severe disease. When a dog eats Mahaprasad, if something falls from its mouth, that is eaten even by the demigods. The potency of Mahaprasad is inconceivable and inexhaustible. Even Shri Ananta cannot understand the extent of its potency. Anyone who takes even a fragment of Mahaprasad is freed from all sins and goes back to Godhead. Nowhere are the glories of Mahaprasad heard as much as they are in Sri Purushottama. I am an insignificant insect, so have no ability. Therefore I have written just a fragment of these pastimes. After the Rath Yatra festival, Gaur called his devotees and said, "You have suffered great distress on my account. There is no need for you to come every year. Stay at home and always distribute the holy names. You have all appeared to preach the eternal principles of religion. Make your life successful by preaching. I will engage in confidential devotional service for some days. Thus all my cherished desires will be fulfilled." Gauranga ordered Nityananda Prabhu to marry, and then he ordered the devotees to return home. Gaur then went to a solitary place and chanted the holy names, absorbed in love. At that time, Gaur saw only his intimate devotees, and he became fully absorbed in the holy name, which are the only means of success. Chant the holy names, meditate on the holy names, make the holy names the essence of your life. Wherever the holy name is chanted, Lord Hari performs his pastimes. The holy name is Hari himself. There is no difference. This is established by the Vedas and Puranas. Now, listen to the description of the disappearance of Brahma Haridas, who daily chanted 300,000 holy names. We haven't seen anyone with such taste for chanting the holy names. All the devotees were astounded by his activities. Knowing his disappearance from this world was imminent, Haridas came and lay down in the middle of the chanting devotees. He then held Mahaprabhu's lotus feet to his heart and left his body while calling out, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Seeing this, Gauranga loudly chanted the holy name of Hari. The devotees exclaimed, he was the crest jewel among the devotees. The breeze of Harinam began blowing from all sides, and the waves of Sankirtan gradually swelled up. Lord Chaitanya was immersed in that ocean of ecstatic love, and all the devotees enjoyed swimming in that ocean. Gaur then placed Haridas in Samadhi, and they all joyfully held a grand festival. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an ocean of mercy. We have never heard of such a munificent incarnation. The omnipotent source of all incarnations, Lord Gauranga, performed these transcendental pastimes to deliver the people in general. Without considering whether the place is proper or not, he has mercifully offered everyone the holy names and pure love of God that is rarely attained by even Lord Brahma. I offer millions of obeisances to the feet of Sri Guru and Gauranga. I always praying for a fragment of their mercy. Praying at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Shri Advaita, always desiring their mercy, I, Ishana Nagara, narrate Shri Advaita Prakasha.